Neurodiversity-Informed online course design. Accommodations versus inclusive design. Neurotypical versus neurodivergent. Demand for online learning continues to rise, particularly among adult learners and graduate students. Although undergraduate students are less likely to enroll in fully online programs, they increasingly register for online courses. Higher education institutions have a more diverse student body than ever. The number of students with different abilities and diverse learning styles is increasing, and neurodevelopmental conditions are the most common category of qualifying requests. Despite growing awareness, accurately determining the prevalence of neurodivergent students in higher education remains challenging for several reasons. Among them, non-disclosure, limited awareness of services, barriers to accessing services. Students may struggle to obtain documentation, navigate institutional processes, or follow up on accommodations. Limited resources for assessment. Cognitive and medical testing can be costly, time-consuming, or inaccessible. Lack of formal diagnosis. Some students self-identify as neurodivergent but do not have an official diagnosis. Reluctance to repeatedly self-advocate. Students may not want to share accommodation needs with every instructor. Identity considerations. Some do not identify as having a disability. Concerns about stigma. Fear of pity, embarrassment, or bias may also discourage disclosure. Together, these factors contribute to significant underreporting and make it difficult for institutions to fully understand and support the neurodivergent student population. A comprehensive approach is vital for supporting a diverse student body, many of whom may not explicitly identify with a disability, but still encounter significant learning barriers in inadequately designed online courses. Let's now distinguish between accommodations and inclusive design. Accommodations are reactive, granted upon request, with a documented need, individual, case-by-case basis, course-specific, applied at the beginning of the semester when the documentation is received. Follow the medical model, which focuses on deficit. And lastly, accommodations are required by law. Inclusive design, on the other hand, is proactive, inclusive, reduces barriers for all from the outset, benefits all students without the need to disclose. No paperwork is needed, and students don't have to wait for the accommodations to be put in place. Inclusive online course design is not required by law unless it relates to accessibility. An inclusive course design approach minimizes the need for accommodations. Because accommodations are only provided when a student requests them, there can be a delay before those supports are fully in place. During that time, other students may already be accessing materials and completing course activities. This gap can create an uneven start, highlighting the importance of designing courses that are inclusive and accessible from the beginning. There is a need to move beyond accommodations and intentionally create learning environments that support the educational experience of all students. Moving toward a more inclusive online course design that considers diverse learning abilities and styles, not just those who qualify for accommodations under the law. Let's now review some definitions and terminology. Neurodiversity refers to variations in brain function and behavior, such as learning, communicating, and processing that are normal, natural human differences, not deficits. It subscribes to the idea that people experience and interact with the world in different ways. There is no one right way of thinking, learning, and behaving. Neurodiversity includes all people, both neurotypical and neurodivergent. We all have a neurotype. Neurotypical refers to people whose neurological development and functioning align with what society considers the typical or dominant norms. Neurotypical individuals often process information in ways that align with conventional educational and social systems. These individuals' brain development, cognitive functioning, and information processing align with societal standards and expectations. In the neurodivergent approach, there is no single normal way to think, learn, or process information. similar to diversity in culture, language, or personality. Neurodivergent students may or may not qualify for an accommodation. Variations on how people learn and process information include dyslexia, auditory processing, visual discrimination, dysgraphia, ADD, attention deficit disorder, ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, autism spectrum, sensory integration, and mental health conditions. Note that this is not a comprehensive list. Some factors related to these variations that impact learning include fatigue, attention, time management, prioritizing tasks, processing, reading, task initiation, concentration, and retention. Let's go over a few examples that highlight the relationship between variations in how people learn and process information, and factors that impact learning. Auditory discrimination, a foundational learning skill, is the ability to hear, recognize, and distinguish between different sounds. Difficulty filtering background noise can impact concentration, as more working memory is used for basic sound processing, and less cognitive capacity remains for understanding meaning. Mental fatigue happens faster as attention is split between the background sound and the content being presented. Visual discrimination is the ability to notice, compare, and distinguish differences and similarities between visual stimuli, such as shapes, letters, numbers, symbols, or patterns. It helps the brain interpret and organize what the eyes see. Visually dense environments affect visual discrimination because it's difficult to retain what wasn't clearly perceived. People with a mental health condition may experience fatigue, while someone with ADHD may encounter difficulty with time management. Online learning has the potential to meet the needs of these students in varied and unique ways. Bringing the curb cut effect to online course design. The curb cut effect refers to the idea that designs originally created to support people with disabilities ultimately benefit a much wider population.